is just so gut-wrenching, and it is these sanctuary city policies. That is the reason that an 11-year-old girl and her mother are not alive today and not with us today, because when that domestic violence charge came, when those two separate DUI charges came, what those sanctuary city policies did was not allow ICE into those prisons to remove this illegal alien. So then he was released back onto New Jersey streets and commit this fatal crime.
Homeland Security officials blasting sanctuary policies after an illegal migrant allegedly killed a mom and her daughter in a wrong-way car crash. Turns out he has an extensive criminal record, including 2 recent arrests for DUI, as Tricia just said. But instead of handing him over to the feds, he was set free and allowed to get back behind the wheel. CB Cotton following this story for us in our newsroom. Hi, CB.
Hey, Dana, good morning. So 2 innocent lives are now gone after this horrific head-on crash. Loved ones tell me the mom and daughter had just gone out for milkshakes. New Jersey mom Maria Pleitez was killed instantly, and her daughter Dayanara Cortez later died at the hospital. According to prosecutors who say Raul Luna Perez drove his Dodge Durango head-on into the mother's Nissan Sentra. First responders noticed on scene that Luna Perez seemed intoxicated, according to investigators who say his blood was drawn and tested with a court-authorized warrant. The test results are still pending, and Luna Perez could face upgraded charges. But for now, he's charged with 2 counts of vehicular homicide and assault by auto. DHS says this deadly crash was entirely preventable, pointing to the suspect's 2 previous DUI charges months earlier. The suspect was also arrested on a domestic violence charge back in 2023. DHS says New Jersey's sanctuary policies kept him on the streets.
All they had to do was pick up the phone and honor the detainer that ICE lodged on this individual. That person would have been sent on a path for removal, but instead they let them back out, refused to cooperate with ICE, and that individual killed somebody. This is what happens in these jurisdictions. It's a destructive policy. Americans deserve better.
Over the weekend, loved ones gathered to say some of their final goodbyes to Pleitez and her 11-year-old daughter. Pleitez leaves behind a 16-year-old daughter, according to family members who say she immigrated to the U.S. more than 2 decades ago and gave birth to her 2 children here in the U.S. Family members are now fundraising for the pair to be buried in the mom's native country of El Salvador. Another 11-year-old girl was in the family's small sedan. She was rushed to the hospital, and thankfully she is expected to be okay. Dana,
Nice.
back to you.
CB Cotton, thank you.
So for more on this, we're joined by Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons. Director Lyons, good to have you with us this morning. Boy, this is an incredibly tragic story from New Jersey. This mom and her 11-year-old daughter go out for a milkshake, and this guy who there should have been several opportunities to remove him from the country that were not honored, right?
Yeah, and it's a really tragic story because, like you said, Martha, this was totally avoidable. Had the local jurisdiction just worked with us on those 2 previous DUI arrests that he had, or even the domestic violence arrest in 2023, ICE would have been able to take that public safety threat out of the community. But again, this just shows you that immigration customs enforcement, we are doing the right thing by removing public safety threats, because the ineffectiveness of these sanctuary policies, look, it even just killed a mother and daughter who migrated to the United States the right way. And it's not just protecting the criminals, it's making the whole entire neighborhood unsafe.
Yeah, I mean, these offenses, it sounds like he was drunk when he did this too. I mean, they're waiting, I think, for the breathalyzer, for the blood to come back on this. But he, even if he were a citizen legally in this country, he should have been off the streets. And then you put on top of that the fact that he's not here illegally and that there is an existing ICE detainer to remove him. I can't imagine how heartbreaking this is for this family to know that this just never needed to happen. I want to ask you about this other case, Director Lyons. This is the manhunt that's going on for illegal immigrants accused of ramming ICE vehicles. And here's Jose Mendez Chavez's rap sheet. He also has a very lengthy rap sheet, another case where you just have to ask the question, where are these governors stepping in and allowing ICE to do their job and to make these ICE agents, in this case, safer? Yeah, and just looking at his rap sheet, he had already been removed several times by us and allowed
to come back in, sneak back in, and then arrested again, only to not notify us. I mean, this is really sad in the fact that luckily my officers and agents weren't hurt, but ramming a vehicle into an ICE officer arrest, while you're making a lawful arrest on a final order of deportation. And on top of that, he's an aggravated felon because he re-entered the country after deportation so many times. We're up almost 830% assaults on ICE agents and officers. And just yesterday alone, we had another vehicle get rammed by someone in Oklahoma City. So it's really sad to the fact that, ICE agents and officers have to worry about their personal safety so much now because of these attacks on officers just doing their law enforcement mission.
So tell us what happened in this situation. Are they ramming the vehicle so that they can disrupt the arrest that's happening? Or, what do you think is the motivation here? Because this guy is still on the loose. He's a child sex abuse convict that, as I said, is still at large.
Well, Martha, I think the big thing is that these people don't want to be arrested and they don't want to be sent back to their home country. This was a case of this individual was trying to get away because he knew that he wasn't going to be allowed to stay in the country. It's not going to be like the previous administration. We'll just keep removing you to open the door, come back in. We're going to hold these people accountable, charge them criminally and federally, and then send them back to the home country or to another country that will take them. These type of incidents are just because now that I think a lot of these criminal aliens are seeing that ICE isn't just going to stand by like it did in the past and take no action on them.
So I had an opportunity to speak to some of your agents in Dallas a few weeks ago. Here's a quick soundbite about their own concern and their families' concerns for their safety based on this enormous increase in violence against them. Watch.
We do a lot of different types of work, gone sometimes, and there's always that concern. I try to tell them, no news is good news. Somebody's going to contact you if something happens. So there's always a sense of fear out there for it.
Yeah. So if you don't get a call, that's good news for the day. That's a very tough way to live your life. It's something that you and all of these individuals are very familiar with. You're really trying to recruit more agents, $50,000 up front, very attractive packages to bring them in. How's that going?
Oh, it's going great, Martha. We have almost 78,000 applicants since we opened up, and we're going through. We're finding those people that really want to serve the country and really be in law enforcement. I think it's a great way to recruit now. We're taking back our rehired annuitants, people that left the job early because they weren't allowed to do their law enforcement mission. But we have so many people that are interested now in working with ICE because now they're seeing, under Secretary Noem's leadership, we have a viable law enforcement partner in the community. You are actually out there making a difference. So we're really ecstatic about seeing the increase in new recruits that are applying.
And, so are most of these people, you said some of them are coming back into the force. How much training does someone need if they want to just start this from scratch?
So depending on which path they choose, whether a special agent with Homeland Security investigations or a deportation officer with ERO, it could be anywhere from 4 to 6 months. We're working right now with Department of Defense to identify key members of the military that are separating, that are looking to get into law enforcement, working with veterans organizations. We're also working with local and state police departments where, like myself, I came from a local city police department because I wanted to work with ICE once I saw the great work that they were doing. So we're definitely recruiting some of the best, and we're really building up our ranks since we got...
I'm sorry to interrupt. Some sheriffs are saying that they're afraid their people are getting poached. What do you say to them?
What I would say is that we understand the plight of law enforcement agencies over the past 4 years. Recruitment has always been down. We'll work with those local jurisdictions, but we are looking for those people that want to work with ICE, that want to have a good federal law enforcement career, that want to make a difference in the community. And under President Trump's administration, we're being allowed to do our job again. So I think it's a great partnership between us and local and state police departments that we can build these bonds together. Mm-hmm. And, hopefully through our 287G program, those sheriffs that are working with us, we're going to make sure that they're reimbursed for working with us daily, help them get new vehicles, help them get their recruitment. But we really want to go ahead and increase our workforce to meet the need that ICE is facing right now.
Director Lyons, thank you. I hope they find those guys. Good luck to you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Martha. Appreciate it.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.